Ladies and gentlemen, gather around. I'm going to tell you about the famous man-eating lion of the Rufiji River, the infamous man-eating lion of the Rufiji River. He was infamous between 2002 2004, but do not worry, he was killed. He was shot on April 20th, 2004. When he was shot, he was 3.5 years old, 500 pounds, and he was a maneless lion. A maneless lion. He killed 42 people. This famous, infamous man-eating lion. He killed 42 people. Only 7 people survived to tell the tale of this lion that attacked them. This is a picture of him here, Tinga Tinga drawing. He was called the Paper Lion. Some people called him the Paper Lion because his movements were so erratic. He was kind of like a paper that's blowing in the breeze. You don't know which direction it's going to move in next. He started here in Amloka village, and he moved all the way down along the Rufiji River, all 10 villages. He attacked in every village. Nobody knew where he was going to strike next. Some people also called him Osama because he was a terrorist. He terrorized the people of the villages. Now, once this lion was finally captured, the British, the good Brits, they took his head. They took his head for study because they wanted to find out why he did what he did. Why he ate people, what caused him to be different than all the other lions. He's featured in BBC articles, he's featured in the Smithsonian, Washington Smithsonian website. They have an article that lists the most ferocious man-eating lions of the last 2 or 3 centuries. Of course, the lions of Tsavo, Ghosts in the Darkness, those ones are listed. But this lion is listed as well. The Rufiji lion, the Paper Lion, Osama, and his history, his story, was almost lost. But I'll tell you a little bit more about that. First, I'm going to give you some lion facts. Just some facts about the lion himself, about the king of the beasts. Now the lion, he runs in prides. He runs in prides. He's the king of the beasts. And the first order of business for a new king in a pride is infanticide, which is basically killing all the cubs, killing all the little cubs, all the young ones of that tribe, of that pride, so that he can be the king, and all the children are his children. A lion's share. You've heard a lion's share before. That refers to the king of the beasts, the lion, the male, the one who runs the pride. There's no gentleman male king lion in a pride. They eat first. The male lion, he's the one that gets to eat first. Everybody else has to wait as the male lion is eating, and he eats up to 25% of his body weight. So at times there's nothing left over after he eats, because remember, 550 pounds heavy. The canines of a lion, they measure 3.2 inches long. So if that thing sinks inside of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. It does damage. They have a bite force of 1,000 pounds per square inch, and they can run 50 miles an hour. So even if you see one in the distance, you can't outrun it. You can't outrun a lion. 50 miles an hour. They have their body is 60% muscle. And their roar, it can be heard 8 kilometers away, their roar. It's an exciting thing for the people of the Rufiji. Between 2002 and 2004, this roar was a terrifying thing, a bone-chilling thing. But lions, I mean, they've been designed to eat the animals in the bush. They're the king of the beasts. The beasts are theirs to eat. They eat kudu, they eat zebra, warthog, bush hog, impala, wildebeest, hartebeest, waterbuck, bushbuck, dick, giraffe, Tembo, elephant, but they do not eat people. At least they're not supposed to eat people. And that's what it says in the Bible. In Genesis 9, when Noah was coming off the ark, this is what God said. He said, "The fear and dread of you, little mankind, will fall on all the beasts of the earth. And for your lifeblood, I will surely demand an accounting. I will demand an accounting from every animal. Whoever sheds human blood, by humans shall their blood be shed." So lions are not allowed, according to God's design, according to God's rules. They are not allowed to eat people. Their maker has programmed them otherwise. But, as we know in this fallen world, sometimes, often, God's order is broken. And so here's an account of the first victims of this lion whose hunger could not be taken care of. His hunger just grew and grew. It started in August 31st of 2002. It started in a village called Moseni, which is just next to us. This here is Mloka, and the village next to us along the Rufiji River, downriver, is Moseni. Now the first victim is an unnamed woman. She's just the unnamed woman. She's the first one. And she was staying in a dungu. A dungu is a temporary shelter, a temporary house that people construct here along the river. It's used for farming. Most people in this area, they're farmers, they're fishermen. August 31st, 2002, this unnamed woman, she was up in her dungu. It was night. She was sleeping. She was with her son and her husband's second wife. The three of them were together in this dungu. But she had to use the facilities. She had to relieve herself. And so she stepped out of the dungu for a second. She walked over just a short distance away to a homemade outhouse, but she didn't arrive at that outhouse. Three lions. Now keep in mind that we're talking about one man-eating lion. But 3 lions attacked her. They took her, brought her just 50 meters from where they killed her, and they consumed her completely, ate everything. There was nothing left. All they found were some shattered bones and a few ripped clothes. That was all that was left of the unnamed woman. And so they reported this. They reported this killing to the DGO. The DGO is the district game officer of the Rufiji. They came, they investigated, they looked. They tried to track down this lion. They couldn't, or these 3 lions, they couldn't find them. And so they made a report. But one lion attack, one person being eaten by a lion in this area is not a crisis. This is not a crisis. And so things moved on. And it seemed like this was a single attack, that it wouldn't happen again. Because for the rest of September and even into October, there was nothing. There was nothing until October 24th. October 24th in the village of Kilimani. So this here is Moseni, but at the far reach, the 10 villages that line the Rufiji River, Kilimani is even past Ungarongo, where we're going to go today. And Kilimani is the last village. That's where the next attack happened. It was a fellow named Musa Matupu. Musa Matupu. Now Musa, he was a drunkard. He was a drunkard. He was known as the town drunk. And he was traveling one night. These all happened at night, at least to begin with. So one night he was traveling between his shamba, his farm, to the next one, his brother's, just a distance away. But he never arrived. He never arrived at his brother's shamba. But people didn't think this odd, because this is Musa Matupu. And Musa Matupu, he's a drunkard. So surely he got lost along the way. He fell. He's sleeping in a bush somewhere. So nobody was worried about young Master Matupu. Until 3 days later. 3 days later, there was another attack. Just at the end of October. Also in Kilimani. This was from a more reputable person, the son of Mneka. The son of Mneka. Now, the son of Mneka, there was no doubt what happened there. He was off in the distance. It was the nighttime, just as the sun was going down, dusk, and people heard screams. People heard the young man screaming, but they also heard a lion growls, a whole group of lions growling and roaring, and they should have gone and helped him. They should have gone and helped the son of Mneka, but they were terrified. They were paralyzed with fear, and so nobody helped this young man, and he was gone. He was eaten. They never found anything of this young fellow. And so after that happened, people thought that, well, maybe let's search a little bit harder for Musa Matupu. We have two victims. We know we have two victims. The son of Mneka, he must be the second victim, but let's look for Musa. So they looked for Musa all around the path that they figured he took between his shamba and his brother's shamba, their farms. And what they found just halfway between the trail, just off the path a bit, was they found Musa's head. They found his head. So the lions left his head, which was thoughtful of them. It was thoughtful of them because at least they could identify young Master Matupu. And so they took his head. They buried it. They have a little gravestone in Kilimani, but under that gravestone of Musa Matupu is just a head. That's all that's under there. These were the first 3 killings, 3 lions, 3 killings over the course of roughly 2 months, killed 3 people, but the frequency is going to increase. Over the next month, over November, there are going to be 6 killings. They're going to double their killings in half the time. So right now we're going to travel to the next site, halfway between the far reach, Kilimani, where the last killings just happened, to a place where I'm going to show you where the lion attacked and killed people. I'll tell you more accounts of these lions, and eventually we're going to track down this lion, where we're going to find this man-eating lion. So Twende, let's go to the next site. Okay, welcome to the edge, the outskirts of the village of Kipo. You're going to know more about this village in the coming days. But I mean, how many of you guys are going to lock your doors tonight? This is halfway between the furthest village and where we started, the village of Mloka, where our lodge is. And this is along the route of the path of terror, along the Rufiji River, where the lions, at this point, 3 lions had their way with the people back in 2002, 2004. As we pick it up in November, they've already killed 3 people. November 4th, nice beautiful day, passes, it's the evening. A man named Hassan Gegadu, Mr. Hassan Gegadu, he's 62 years old. And you can see out in the distance here the little farms and even the little shambas that I was describing. So those little shambas out there, you see the simple structure, the poles, the makuti, that's Swahili, palm thatch roof, the elevated floor. And so the lions, the 3 lions, they had actually swam across the river. So the first 3 kills happened on the south side of the river. That's the other side where most of the farms are. But they came over here to the north side where people are living, where the villages are. They were hungry. And at night on November 4th, they started to attack one of these dungus. Now Mr. Hassan Gegadu, he ran to save these people. He was a man of courage. He ran. He was a 62-year-old man. But the lions, they turned on him. They focused on him instead, and they grabbed him, killed him, dragged him into the bush, and ate him. That was November 4th. He's victim number 4. But they didn't stop that night with just Mr. Hassan Gegadu, because Mr. Hassan, he was a 62-year-old man. He's estimated to maybe give the lions about 80 pounds of raw meat. And that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. A lion, on average, needs to eat about 100 pounds of meat each week. And so they were still hungry. They were hunting on the edge of the village. They found young Mr. Amir Debugu. Amir Debugu, he was just a 22-year-old outside of this village, actually, the village of Kipo. And they attacked Amir. They ate him. He screamed, he yelled, but the villagers didn't come in time. He's victim number 5. And the lions at that point were satisfied, and they swam back across to the south side, the other side of the Rufiji River. After this, there was a week of peace. There was a week of peace. But on November 12th, somebody named Seifu Mkambula, he was going to his outhouse. He was in the village of Kipo, this village right here. He was going to his outhouse. It was the pouring rain. Nobody even heard it happen because the rain is so loud here in Tanzania, in Africa. And so he didn't make it to his outhouse. The lions grabbed Mr. Seifu, attacked him, killed him, dragged him 300 meters from the spot where they'd killed him, and they ate him. So on that night, Mr. Seifu, he was not safe. He did not make it. He's number 6, victim number 6 on the hit list of these 3 lions. These 3 famous lions, but one is more famous than the 3. The next victim happened only 3 days later, right in the middle of November, November 15th. It was Ali M. Latitu, Mr. Latitu. Mr. Latitu, he was a 65-year-old man. He was in his dungu. He was farming. This is what he had done his whole life. Now, the way that these dungus are made, there's that second level, but often the elderly people, they don't climb to the top level. They just stay down below. And so Ali, he was waiting in the bottom level. When the lions came, the 3 lions attacked him. He yelled, he screamed for help, and the villagers came. All of his neighbors, they came. And they did save something. They did not save Ali's life. Unfortunately, he died, but they saved his corpse, not his life. And so he is victim number 7 in mid-November. The two next victims, they're the 2 Saids. The 2 Saids. The first Said is a tragic story. It happened, I believe, on November 20th in Kipugira. So Kipugira is the village we just passed in that direction. In Kipugira, the man's, well, not the man's, it was the boy's name. It was Said Mwenewala. He was only a 7-year-old little boy. And this was the youngest victim up to this point to satisfy the hunger of these 3 lions. Now, he wasn't out walking at night. All these attacks happened at night. He wasn't out walking. He didn't hear the cries of somebody and go to save them. He was just sleeping in his bed that night. And the 3 lions, they attacked the hut where he was living in. They ripped apart his mud and stick hut. They literally ripped it apart, the 3 of them. They got access into the house. They picked little Said right out of his bed while his mother and the 2 other children were still sleeping. They took him out of his bed, took him 80 meters from their house, and they ate him. In the morning, all they found was little Said's skull. So even that they had eaten and licked clean, and there was just a skull left of little Said. The final killing that I'm going to tell you about was in the end of November. It was November 26th. November 26th at 3 a.m. This is the second Said. The first Said was 7 years old. The second Said was a bit of an older man. His name was Said Matambwe. Now, Said Matambwe, he was farming, and along with his second wife, he was a little bit away from the farm at the time, and he heard his second wife scream for help, yelling for help. So he ran. Said, he ran, Matambwe, to save his second wife, and he had only a flashlight. He was only equipped with a flashlight. He came to the spot, and he started yelling at the 3 lions, and he was flashing his light at them. Now, in any other situation, the lions would be repelled by this. They would run away at this. But remember, these are 3 lions that are breaking God's order. And so they didn't run from him, they ran to him. They were attracted by what he was doing, and they ate him. They ate Mr. Said, they killed him, but they ate him very slowly. They killed him, they took him off into the bush, and they actually didn't start eating him until dawn. Just as the sun was coming up, they took a little snack. They got thirsty, they were parched, and so they decided to go to the river and get a drink of water. Now this happened, the attack initially happened at night. And so the game rangers, they were made aware of this. This was reported immediately, and they came. So by the morning, the game rangers were here. They were ready. They tracked the tracks of these 3 lions. They found Saeed Matambwe's body, mostly uneaten. So what they did, they acted very quickly. They had wire snare with them. They put a bunch of wire snare around the uneaten body, the corpse of Saeed Matambwe. They built wooden platforms, and they all got up in these platforms. They trained their guns on the corpse of Saeed Matambwe, and they waited. They waited into the morning. They didn't have to wait long. The 3 lions, they returned to this kill to finish what they had started. Just as they took the first bite of Mr. Matambwe, the rangers offloaded their guns on these 3 lions. Immediately they shot the first one. They fatally wounded her. She ran into the bush and died. The second one, also a female, she got caught in the wire snare, and it was easy to pick her out, to take her off, and to dispatch her. Number 2 was dead. But the third one got away. The third one got away completely unscathed, which is why the people believe that this third one was not a lion. This was not a real lion. This was something different. The people in this area, with their beliefs, they believe that this was a spirit lion, something that could even avoid bullets. And so he ran away. He got away, and he's the maneless lion, the big 500-pound maneless lion, who would become the Paper Lion. Up to this point, 9 people had been killed. Over the course of the next year, he would kill 33 more people by himself. And he became the most dangerous lion. And he was actually made dangerous, more dangerous that night, because they took out his other 2 companion women. You see, lions, they're ambush predators. They work together in groups. And so up until that point, yes, they ate people, but they also ate other things. They ate impala, bush pig, and they worked together to hunt these things down. But once he lost his coalition, once he lost his two women, he was on his own. And at that point, he had to hunt the thing that was easiest to get, the thing that was most vulnerable, the thing that was the weakest. Turns out, that's us. We're the weakest. And so he started hunting exclusively people. That night, after his 2 companions were killed, the Paper Lion was born. So we're going to go and continue to the village of Ngorongo, and I believe if we're lucky, if we're fortunate today, I think we might find this said Paper Lion Osama, the man-eating lion. So let's go. Thank you.
This is great. You got the gift.
All 40 kills?
What's this?
Here, all 40 kills? Or not recorded?
No, we could be here all day. We got a dinner club to do.
Did you research?